Hey, what's up, everybody? It is I, Bad Billy from Twin Falls, Idaho, co-host of Patriot Confederation and founder of the Bearded Patriots. And I am joined right now by, is it Erich Filter or Erich Pincher?
Depends on the day, Billy. Erich Pincher, Erich Fincher. I don't know. But my real name is Erich Pilcher.
Yes, as you can see, it's spelled right there. But then, given the education that the subject we're about to talk about, of course he can't read, he can't speak very well. So anyway, real quick, if you want to check out my website, of course, that's thebeardedpatriots.com. That's right, thebeardedpatriots.com. And be sure to shop the affiliates, because I got some good ones, ladies and gentlemen. Yes, indeed. I got some really good ones. In fact, I'm awaiting a meeting, and looks like I'm going to get affiliation with Patriot Mobile. And one other thing too, Eric, are you familiar with a man named Curtis Sliwa?
Yes, I am. As you may know, and a lot of people that follow me know, I'm a big mafia buff. That's a hobby of mine, studying the mafia, watching documentaries on the mafia. And Curtis is a polarizing figure in the world of mafia history. Not for anything he did, but it depends on the mobsters you talk to, their opinion of him. Sammy Gravano has an opinion. Michael Francis has an opinion. Joey Merlino, which I wouldn't take anything Joey says seriously. But everyone has an opinion of him. And Curtis, every documentary I've seen him in, it does such a great job of articulating the mob and how they work to people.
Well, as we all know, of course, he was in the race for mayor against, of course, that communist who just won, and then, of course, their former governor, Andrew Cuomo, and yeah, he did finish dead last. However, Curtis Sliwa is not a nobody. I mean, he's very well known, and I have his phone number. I'm in negotiations to get him on my show, and I just want to throw it out there because that's a real New Yorker.
Yeah, Curtis is a real New Yorker. Everything about Curtis is New York, and definitely, a knowledgeable guy, very well spoken. I would like to just sit down and talk to him. I just fire off questions, because there's a lot of things that Curtis knows that, people turn a blind eye to. One of my, something I say, and I'll just say it, and I know you may disagree, Billy.
We disagree on a lot of things, but that doesn't step in the way of our friendship. So
absolutely not. The Michael Francis and Sammy Gravano sit here and say, "Oh, the mob could never touch Donald Trump. Donald Trump never took anything from the mob." When the mob says they never took anything, they couldn't touch them, it is the opposite. They did, and he did. Look, the mob is never going to tell you guys that we're on the take. And one thing I like about Curtis is he never directly said that, but he alluded to it.
I gotta tell you something else too. I mean, before we get started here too, and I think I've still got the audio of it, but it was back in 2013, and I was on, I was calling those telephone chat lines.
Yep.
And I was actually helping a friend of mine run one of those chat lines, and somebody got on the bulletin board with this person had a speech impediment and said, "Hey, Billy, this is Badger from the Angels, motherfucker. We got a contract on you. We're coming to get you." Okay, if whether it be the mafia or whether it be the Hells Angels or any biker, you think they're going to get out and publicly say we got a conflict on your ass so they could be indicted if something really did happen?
Absolutely not. And the thing is like people will say, well, I trust Sammy because Sammy wrote a book. Yes, Sammy did write a book. Sammy's book is very good. But Sammy's book is also just a rehash of everything he testified to when he testified against John Gotti. There is no new information in that book that he did not disclose in front of a jury. That's why he was able to make money off that book, because there were no new crimes discussed. Same with Henry Hill when Nicholas Pileggi wrote Wise Guy, which became Goodfellas. No new crimes were discussed.
I'd love to play that recording for you sometime, but I can't currently find it. It's somewhere in my archives. But we need to get to the subject at hand here, and
why?
that is, of course, JoJo, Crazy Joe. Dude, you know what? He might have up to 10,000 listeners out of that station in Australia. I'm not going to deny that, but like he said, it's a built-in audience. But the thing is too, Asgard Radio, they had a built-in audience, but once he hit the microphone, people started disappearing. They didn't want to hear his ass.
Here's the thing I'll say about Joe's audience and him being on Australian radio. Joe, how does it feel to know you had to get a gig and you sold out? Like, I would have more respect for him if he just got on there and did his own show and it lasted one show. He totally sold out. I've listened to one of his shows on Radio X, a part of the Dare Radio Media Group. I've listened to it. All he is doing is talking about the music he is playing. It is not the Crazy Joe show. It is a bastardized, family-friendly version of it. All he is doing is reading a teleprompter, essentially. and he's like, oh, I'm so talented. No, you're not. You proved you can read at a moderate level. And even that's up for debate because he mispronounces some of the stuff.
Well, and like your name right here, it's right in front of you, and he keeps on getting it wrong. He can't even say Connerton.
And he thinks it's an insult to mispronounce my name. JoJo, let me tell you something, buddy. Every year in school, up until my senior year of high school, there was a teacher that would say Erich Pilcher. And from the 4th grade on, I would tell them C before H makes a K. And you're teaching me?
Yes.
It doesn't bother me, Joe. It doesn't. It's just like, that's what you got? Really?
Okay.
Okay.
So yesterday he posted about it was close to 4-minute video here and of the things he said. We gotta pick this apart because this is just too
I'm
much.
an open book, Billy. We'll pick it apart.
All right, let's go.
Hey, douchebag, why do you lie so much? You think it's going to save you? You're the king of the liars, you and your butt buddy over there. Okay? What I read was public knowledge, public statement. Anybody can access this. If you've been arrested or you've been sued, like you have probably been, that's my opinion, then it's public record. What are you fucking talking about, jerk off? It's public record. And as far as threatening you lying piece of shit, I'll tell you exactly what I said, but you're not paying attention because you want to make up lies. Because you're a punk. And you're a keyboard warrior. You wouldn't do this to my face. You wouldn't do this to my boss's face, you wouldn't do it to anybody because you're a coward.
Okay, Joe, I've said it before. You want this fight so bad. I didn't say I wanted to fight you. I said I did say if I was to come to New York, we could settle it in Central Park. However, I fucking hate New York. And you want this so bad, come to Iowa, come to Idaho. No, you say your bitches go to you. Well, I ain't one of your bitches, motherfucker. And let me tell you why I can't come to New York. Otherwise, sometimes you make me want to jump on a plane. Now,
Yes.
I got a family to take care of. My life is here. I got things to do. I'm not going to waste my time, let alone my money, just to go face someone who's not even a challenge that I know I'm going to demolish in a matter of 30 seconds.
And let's not act like that Crazy Joe, Jose Martinez, is this brave, valiant individual here. The fact is this: the moment either of us showed up to New York, he would call the police. And look, he's done it before. He's called the FBI on you, Billy, and they laughed at him.
Well, also given the fact too that I'm glad you brought that up, because he's been saying in recent videos, come to New York and get your ass whooped. Then he says, come to New York and you'll get arrested.
I mean, he called the cops on DJ Reckless.
DJ Reckless is another. Who am I? I'm thinking of that other one.
DJ Loud. I'm talking about.
Yeah, I remember who he is now. Yeah,
Matt's friend, DJ Reckless. He called the police on him. That's how we got his real name of Jose Martinez, because when the cops called DJ Reckless because of the complaints issued against him, he's like, who? And they're like, Jose Martinez from Poughkeepsie, New York. And he's like, I don't know a Jose. Oh, that's how we got Jose Martinez. And there was no deep dive. Your own words, Joe, gave us your real name. You calling the cops on someone associated with us, all because you told them you would beat their ass, and they said, no, I will beat yours. You turn that around into threats. And you do this constantly, where you make threats. You sent me emails talking about doing sexually explicit things to my mother with a pogo stick, and said you would kick my ass. And my exact words in that email were, I would fly to New York, you would try, you would fail, it would be game over. I'm not a fighter, Joe, but I'm pretty sure if you came up to me and I would give you the first punch, son, you hit me, I would run right through you.
I'll hit you with those. He's got to be the only person I've ever seen that probably needs to shave his hands.
I might get sandpaper burn on my face from those knuckles. That might be the only injury I would suffer if he ever hit me. I'm more scared about abrasions on my face from his hairy knuckles. Wonder what that's from, JoJo. And so, yeah, Joe, that's the only thing I'm scared of, is getting burns on my face from your hairy knuckles.
Let's continue with the recording.
That not only was the public record of you being arrested was sent to me and given to me
by
public record, but also the fact that your address was given to me. Okay? So
So
you could cry wolf all you want, and you could bitch and moan about me having your address. I said, and I quote, if you mess with me, meaning harass me verbally like you've been doing, threatening the station, threatening me with your stupid fucking retarded emails, and if you are on probation, which I said, then I'm going to contact your probation officer and I'm going to make a complaint against you so possibly you could be arrested.
all right, what crime did you commit to begin with? Come
All
on.
right, I'm going to be 100% honest here. What Joe is talking about occurred nearly 10 years ago. I lived in Mason City, Iowa. There was an individual standing outside of my home on my porch yelling obscenities at my then wife. Joe, another piece of ammunition for you. Yes, Joe, I'm divorced. And Joe, by the way, my ex-wife and I were best friends. So do with that what you will. And he called her the C word. I flew down the steps, ran outside, and shoved him to the ground. That was wrong. I was arrested for assault. However, in his little diatribe, what Jose failed to mention, or his intellect didn't allow him to research, is those charges were expunged. They're not even on. If you were to do a criminal background check on me, it would not be there. I served my probation without incident and moved on. My fines were paid. End of story. It wasn't a felony. I wasn't fired from Speedy Delivery Service for it because it wasn't a Speedy Delivery Service employee or supervisor. It was a random individual that decided to say things about my wife that were offensive and derogatory. I took matters into my own hands. That was wrong. I shouldn't have done that. I deserved to spend the night in jail for that, which I did, and I admitted full culpability to the judge the next day. And because I did not have a record, which is why I was let out on probation, and then once probation was successfully completed and fines paid, it was expunged from my record. So, Joe, if there is a probation officer out there, you go ahead and contact them. Tell them everything. Because I guarantee you, they're just going to laugh at you. I mean, everyone laughs at you. Don't get me wrong. It's nothing new, but they would laugh at you. I am not on probation. It was not a felony. I was not fired from my job for it.
And by the way there, Jojo, you know, you just said everyone laughs at him. Well, just think about the people that whenever he's doing a live stream, you're going. I bet you every single one of them, they're subscribed to your channel and they get the moment to insult you because they know they only got one shot to do it before you block them from commenting on the video. But they stay subscribed to your videos just so they can tune in for a laugh. I can guarantee you that.
Sorry to cut you off, Billy. This is your show. I'll give him credit. He just found out that blocking them doesn't block them from watching your videos. After years of you telling him that, Matt telling him that, and I even posted a video on Christmas Eve of me showing him that. All you do is prohibit people from commenting and rating your video. People can still see your videos, stupid.
They can still give a thumbs up or thumbs down, too.
Oh, they can? Because I've given all of his videos a thumbs down, and I don't see them when I go back.
Oh, no, because only he can see that when he looks at his statistics.
Oh, that makes me feel so much better.
Otherwise, yeah, YouTube about two years ago, they quit showing how many thumbs down. They only show the thumbs up. So.
Oh, that's beautiful. So,
Okay.
Joe, those thumbs down you get, that's me.
And me.
Enjoy.
Because I'm not the criminal, you are, from what that form says. And that's
Okay,
not
whoa.
slander.
Okay. Let's talk about criminals. Okay, because we've already gone through what you just went through, Eric, and not only that too, he can run a background check on me and he ain't gonna find a damn thing. And if he was somehow lucky, he might find the misdemeanors from 30 years ago for petty theft.
He might find, you know what? There's one other thing he will find on me. I was arrested in Iowa City, Iowa, on the campus of the University of Iowa on an Iowa football game day for public intox.
Okay.
I spent the night in the drunk tank, had the video with the judge, paid my $60 fine, went home, and again, after 6 months without incident, it was expunged from my record. And Joe, if that makes me a criminal, I'm going to tell you this. In Iowa City, on a Iowa Hawkeye football game day, there are thousands of criminals.
Okay. So, yeah. Now, number one, he keeps on talking about how I stole a rifle from a blind man, which doesn't make any sense. If I'd have stole a gun, I'd be a felon. I carry a concealed license. And how could I obtain that if I was a felon? Think about it. Does that make any sense? But you, Joe, you brag about CB radio. And then John Grosvenor, who's my good friend and co-host of Patriot Confederation, who is a truck driver, told me that he used to drive into the New York metropolitan area and somebody would always be obnoxious and block communications with his bullshit over the CB. And that is a violation with the FCC because obviously, I stated it before, cell phones have kind of winded down this the use of CBs. However, all these truck drivers, they don't all know each other and they don't have each other's cell numbers. So they need that CB communication for things like accidents and whatnot. They need to communicate with each other. You getting on CB radio and fucking with the truck drivers and blocking communications, dude, that makes you a criminal. That is a crime. That is a violation of FCC laws. That is a crime, dude.
Yup.
So you're bragging about, I'm big and bad on CB radio. You're bragging about being a fucking criminal. You are.
Billy, he'll 10-7 you.
Dude, I used to work security. I know the CB codes. That's what I used to say when I was off work. Yep, I'm 10-7 going home for the night. Good night, everyone.
Or is it 10-8? I forget what his whole thing is.
10-8 is when you come back from like break.
Okay. It's one of those things that Joe likes to practice rules for thee, not for me. He likes to point out everyone else's skeletons in their closet. Hey, Jojo. Everyone has skeletons, buddy.
And we're pulling yours out. You actually gave us the shovel to dig and find, but believe me, the skeletons in your closet. I'm not even going to mention the other stuff that I have. It's I've got it in reserve. But let me just say one thing really quick here.
Go ahead.
Yeah.
Billy, I would actually like to thank you for having me on and giving me the opportunity to explain all of this and add context to the unhinged babblings of a geriatric moron.
So Jojo, can you tell me who Carmen Iris Martinez is? Or can you tell me who I think it's pronounced Desai Baharti? or Douglas Smalley. Oh, what am I referring to? What am I referring to, Jojo? I'm going to leave that little mystery rolling around in that peanut-sized brain of yours. Let's continue.
You stupid fuck. So let me tell you something. You could take your last warning and you could shove it up your mother's pussy. All right? Because you can't do nothing. You're just full of hot air. You're like a hot air balloon flying over the sky.
Speak for yourself.
You're trying to intimidate everybody, but you're not going to get your way. We are not backing down from you. So, you know what, motherfucker? You and Billy, bring it on. I got so much fucking evidence on you fucking jerk-offs with your harassment and all the bullshit. You ain't not going to talk your way out of nothing. Okay? And you ain't got no money for no fucking lawyer because you look like a homeless bum. So does Billy. Even your money's together. You might be lucky to get legal aid. Still not going to help you. You're the criminals. You're the harassers. It's like you guys are on drugs. Denying all your crimes against me so far. You've committed several crimes. They're not big deal crimes, but they're crimes.
But they're not crimes, period.
That's like your shit on CB radio was a fucking crime. May have been a misdemeanor, but it's still a fucking crime. We're not committing any crimes, Jojo. Good Lord.
Joe, the thing is, he fails to mention this. He accuses you, me, Matt, and Jenny for lying about him. We have everything backed up. We have your words, Joe. We have you calling people N-word lovers. We have you saying the N-word. We have you being overtly racist and bigoted and homophobic.
How about not just homophobic, but how about, I mean, what I call homosexual behavior, if you really, because, you know, he can deny that he asked Robin Slim about a gruesome question about anal sex and said he was curious about it, which it's like, why would you be curious about that? And
I wasn't going to go there, but that's a good point.
And then he's taken off. Does he want to deny taking off his shirt and playing with his tits and saying these man tits are ready for you? It's like that's fucking creepy.
Yeah, that's the thing is he acts like that it's not there, and he calls it their smokestack.
Yeah,
Substack, Joe, and it's all documented. Every claim we've made, including you indignant son of a bitch, you motherfucker, denigrate the name of a man who served our military.
Oh, not only you know, God bless Martin Connerton.
Yes,
but also my good friend Colonel Chris Wyatt, who spent 35 years, which is the majority of his life, in the military. So he stayed until they forced him to retire, and he's like, he was never in the military. It's like
those two individuals and countless others put their lives on the line so you can be a racist, bigoted son of a bitch and hide behind the visage of the First Amendment. You piece of shit. You call Billy and I cowards? That is the ultimate act of cowardice, to disgrace people who served in our military.
Yeah. Now, in fact, I was sitting next to Colonel Wyatt this last September because he came out this way because, you know, because of his ties to South Africa, and one of those South African families that Trump brought out here are right here in my hometown, and he went to go visit them, and then him and I met up. And I told him, yeah, this idiot crazy Joe says you were never in the military. He pulls out his military card. It's like, not only that too, but we met at Starbucks and we got our drinks served to us for free, a veteran's complimentary. So yeah, we wouldn't have got him for free if he didn't serve in the military.
Look, and that's one of the things that I cannot tolerate. I can't tolerate it. Do not denigrate those that have served. There's an individual I know. Him and I do not see eye to eye politically at all. At all. This past Sunday, someone got into an argument with him. Then on his Facebook page said some people who served in Iraq should have been just killed over there. I may not see eye to eye with that man, but his service to this country should be appreciated and revered. And the same for Martin. Rest in peace, Martin Connerton. And the same for Chris Wyatt. Chris Wyatt earned that title of colonel. Joe, you haven't earned anything besides Social Security from driving a cab for over 30 years. And I'm not going to deny that it was a dangerous job, but it's the best thing a piece of scum like you could do.
And you did claim it on some other video. You just have to go, if you really want to dig, which I wouldn't want to do, but he said he served in the military. I'm calling bullshit and stolen valor on that.
Yeah, Joe, if you served in the military, show your military ID card. There's no personal information on it. Show your discharge papers. Redact the personal information. Every member of the military I know that served, their honorable discharge papers are some of their most treasured documents. They are kept in lock boxes because of what that means. It's not just to get veterans benefits. It's because it's a reminder of the sacrifice and what they put on the line.
Eric, if he did serve in the military, I'm just willing to bet that he got a dishonorable discharge after sitting on a stool peeling potatoes.
He was probably, you know what? He was probably Private Pyle from Full Metal Jacket.
Like I say, he was sitting there peeling potatoes, I bet.
He had a jelly donut stuffed in his lockbox.
All right, let's continue with the recording.
So bring it on.
Oh.
Because we're not afraid of you. We're not scared of you. Because you're nothing but a bunch of fucking liars and manipulators of the truth. And you think that's going to get you over? I don't think so.
Okay, that was the last of it. Wow, I didn't realize I had so little to know. There's nothing to lie about.
There isn't. It's all documented. And yes, we shared it to Scotty of Dare Radio Group and Radio X because it's called a professional courtesy. See, it's one of those things. I love the business of journalism and professionalism, journalism and broadcasting. It is something I will defend to the highest order. I only associate with individuals that I feel respect this industry and don't hurt it. Individuals like Matt Connerton, Billy Painter, Jenny Coffey, Dirk Don, Robin Slim, DJ Reckless, Charles Richardson. You know why? Although I may not see eye to eye with them from time to time, I respect them and they do not disgrace this profession. And Joe, you sit here and you talk about your ratings and all this other bullshit. I don't do this for ratings. I do this because I love it. I do this because I love to talk with people about things that I'm interested in. Nothing makes me happier than when I go on TikTok and I see one of Matt and I's videos from Tough Bumps and it has 1,000 likes.
And it's but that's how losers talk, It's like, Joe, do you think you're really going to make a career out of this? Number one, quit saying that we're trying to get you fired. Number one, and I wish I could take all the credit for Live 365, but I'm sorry, I wasn't in on that alone. A lot of people heard what you said to me.
A lot of people did. And Joe, you want to know? I'm going to sit up for this one and scooch back a little bit because I want to be upright. Joe, you know what's funny? The great thing in all of this, none of us would have known each other if it wasn't for you. That's the beauty of it. Matt, Billy, Jenny, Robin Slim, and I, we wouldn't have known each other. It was your words, your hateful, racist, bigoted, anti-Semitic rhetoric that led us to each other. I can't say Dirk Don because Dirk Don and I have been friends for over 20 years. So, no, I knew of Dirk Don. That's how I found out about Crazy Joe. But I got in contact with Matt, and then everything just kind of matriculated from there.
Well, see, I was acquainted with Charles Richardson. I think it was back in 2017 when he asked me to do outlaw radio on his station, which was called Raw Talk Online. And I was actually simulcasting on there along with the No Holds Barred Radio Network. And then, of course, it was through Charles I found out about Crazy Joe. And at that time, for that short period of time, I actually had respect because I'm starting to hear, Crazy Joe saying some stuff that I agree with. And I'm like, I would like to have a conversation with this man. And then, of course, we got along the very first time we talked, and then that was it. After that, he was on Charles Richardson, and that's when I saw his true colors with all the hate and racism and all that. And I want to address the anti-Semitism. So, one thing I think is just absolutely ridiculous, Eric, and, you can disagree with me, and I'm sure, there are a lot of disagreement with me, but I think reparations for slavery and shit like that for history that we can't change is bullshit. Now, if there's anybody living from any of those eras, they do deserve reparations like those from the 50s and 60s during the Civil Rights Act. But there's nobody alive from the Civil War era that was a slave master, nobody alive that was a cotton picker. So, reparations for that is done and over with, and I think it's stupid, and today's generation does not need to be held accountable for their ancestors. And I think, Joe might agree with me on that note, but then he wants today's generation of Jewish people to be held accountable for something that happened over 2,000 years ago.
And contextually, Joe is one of the biggest enemies of the Bible because Joe cherry picks things out of the Bible, just cherry picks things to fit his narrative. My original argument with Joe, and I've read the Bible cover to cover several times, is one, it wasn't the Jews who ordered Jesus to be crucified. It was a Roman prefect. And the Jews did it on orders from the Roman prefect. Secondly, this is in the Bible, this is scripturally accurate. Thousands of Jews cried when Jesus was crucified. And finally, as the nails were being driven into his wrists and his hands, Jesus said the words, "Forgive them, Father, for they know not what they do."
And another thing too is Joe has alluded to that, and he talked about Pontius Pilate, and he's like, Pontius Pilate's roasting in hell. Okay. Where I think there's a part of the Bible where it says Pontius Pilate learned of the resurrection, and he's like, oh boy, what have I done? God, please forgive me. And then his Roman counterparts did crucify him for turning to Christianity. But with that said, Pontius Pilate's up there with Jesus right now.
Another thing is, Joe, you like to call yourself the savior of real rock and roll. There's something in the 10 Commandments about idolatry. You're committing it by calling yourself a savior. That is idolatry. That is one of the 7 deadly sins, Joe. You cannot put false idols up for worship. By calling yourself a savior of real rock and roll music, that's exactly what you're doing.
Yeah. And then, of course, he said that he's also criticized black people too, because just because they want to use exotic names, like to name their children, like oh no, Keisha, or that's one example right there. I knew one black girl with her name was Monisha, and I thought that was really that was a beautiful name. Then again, somebody else said that to me. Yeah, you think it's beautiful just because it's foreign to you. I was like, it sounds pretty.
And the thing is look, people are going to name their kids what they want to name their kids. I don't have any children. I have 2 former stepdaughters that still call me dad.
How about this? How about this, Eric? I'm not Jewish, but my cousin's name is Tivon, spelled Tivon. He was the first grandchild born after me in my generation, and the last Gen Xer born in my family. Tivon is a Hebrew name meaning lover of nature. Of course, some people have asked, is he Jewish? No. It's because, of course, his parents were hippies. And we're talking from the rock and roll era that Joe, he hates hippies, but yet he wants to defend that era of rock and roll. But they were hippies. The term Tivon, or in Hebrew, they say it Tivon. It means lover of nature. And of course, that's something hippies would embrace.
And here's the thing. Another thing, and I'm glad you brought up the hippie thing. Sorry, I had a message come in. He does all of his videos with a sign that says peace behind him.
Oh, I know.
Like, watch an hour of his videos.
And
I challenge anyone to find anything peaceful in them. There just isn't.
Okay, I got to admit, we all think flatulence is funny. But this whole thing is, why do you have to let everybody know when you have to fart?
And what it smells like. Like, I don't care. Like, there's just, and look, I want to go back to his whole thing about ratings and everything like that in journalism.
There is no ratings in internet radio, and he doesn't fucking get it.
Ratings all in themselves are an archaic measuring method by themselves, unless you know how to interpret them. Joe, I've challenged you to do this several times, and you've never been able to do it. Let's say that your 10,000 listeners is accurate. What's their average time of listening to your show?
Oh, it's that goes along the lines is, you don't come to my videos and just leave. It's like, that's what people do.
Yup. And what's their return rate? How many times do they come back? And their engagement level. Are they engaging in social media while you're on the air, on the show's website? on their social media. That's what true ratings are. You can't look at a raw number and it's empirical. Newsflash, if anyone just clicks on the Dare Radio X live stream while you're on, that counts as a listener. They could be on for 2 seconds. It's a listener. It is not empirical data. The empirical data comes from knowing how to interpret it. You bash my subscribers. I don't care. Joe, I'll give you more ammunition. I have 15 subscribers on my website, pilcherspoint.com. I don't care. I love all 15 of them. It doesn't bother me because at the end of the day, I do this because I enjoy it. I do this because I love engagement. I do this because I like to talk to people about things that I care about. You do this because you are looking for notoriety and fame. And yeah, no doubt, Billy, I'm sure would agree with this. If we were to become famous for doing what we do, we'd run with it. Do we expect it to happen? No. And it's not because we're not talented. It's not because we don't have belief in ourselves. It's because we understand the business that we're in. 1% of internet radio broadcasters, podcasters, bloggers make it big. 1%. The other ones do it as a hobby, or if they're lucky, they get brought on to like a local newspaper, something like that, and they get to retire with a nice little 401k saved. Joe, I know people that have retired from this industry, and you know what? You know what that one of them told me the day he retired? I asked him point blank. I said, what are you gonna miss? When I worked for an ABC affiliate here in Cedar Rapids, Iowa, he looked at me and he's like, the people. I'm going to miss the people. I'm going to miss having conversations with people in our community. I'm going to miss telling their stories. I'm going to miss that interaction and delivering their stories to our community and then getting the feedback for that. Joe, that's what this is about. It isn't about ratings. It isn't about beating myself, Billy, Matt. And you know what? If you do say la vie a salut, you did it. Fine. Your ratings are better than ours. We're still going to do what we do. We're still going to do our podcasting. We're still going to do our blogging. Matt's still going to host his radio show on WMNH.
And he's going to make money at it, mind you.
And yeah, it isn't going to prohibit us from doing this.
I do want to address something, and I do find this to be a very serious nature. But hey, Joe, hey, Mr. D, whoever the fuck you are.
Yeah.
I'm gonna say this only once, but if I find out that Matt gets harassed at WMNH and somebody else is trying to get him to lose his gig and lose his job, I will, that right there, that's what the true definition of slander is, when you affect somebody's livelihood.
Yup.
I saw the comment in the chat, and I took a screenshot where you said that Matt needed to be removed from WMNH. So if you want to try this cancel culture bullshit, go right ahead. But I will see to it that you will, whatever your IP address is, you get traced and you get prosecuted, because that right there, that's the crime. And Joe, you will be in on it. So if something happens to Matt, oh boy, that's when the real fun's going to really begin, because I will fucking crush you if you do this shit. Call that a threat if you want, but you're not going to go after somebody's livelihood. That's how Matt puts bread on the table. That's how he keeps a roof over his head. That's how he keeps his bills paid. Do not fuck with that.
And, you know, and I'm glad you said that, Billy. Here's the other thing. And I want to say something to Mr. D. Mr. D, you sat there in the chat and said Quad Cities is on alert for Erich Pilcher. You motherfucker, I was in the Quad Cities 2 weeks ago. I was at the Hooters on Brady Street. I was at the North Park Mall. I went over by the mark of the Quad Cities in Moline, Illinois. No one said boo to me. I go to the Quad Cities all the time.
Yeah.
What's going to happen, Mr. Douchebag? Come on. Come on, do something.
So that is definitely a warning, though. So I will take that very seriously.
And Billy, I'm glad you brought up warnings. I'm glad you brought it up because he says I sent a final warning. I did. And Joe, you say I can't afford an attorney. I most certainly can. Believe me. Believe me. I work 40 hours a week. I can afford an attorney. I can afford an attorney. But you know what? I have friends that studied law. I have friends that are lawyers that respect me enough, value me enough. I've done things for that have told me, hey, you ever run into a legal snag, message me. And Joe, I did send them videos of you and the things that you have said. I also sent them links to the Substack Billy created. Joe, you have no case against any of us. We have you dead to rights. This is a grenada. You know why they call it a grenada? Because when the U.S. attacked a sovereign country, they called it grenada because it was 100% winnable. Joe, if you could afford a lawyer, he would probably send us a summons for discovery. Cool. We would send him the Substack. He would hear everything you said and everything you have that we have documented. And he would say, thank you for the money. I'm not taking your case. Goodbye. You have nothing. We have everything. You are reciting public record, Joe.
We've been going for almost an hour, and I got to end it pretty soon. But one other thing, though, Joe, if you somehow manage to dig deep and find your balls, and you want to make a trip here to Idaho, and you want to face me, I'm going to tell you one thing I'm going to remember is how you like to throw around that 4-letter C word about women, which that makes you a misogynist. But I'm going to tell you something about my sister that you like to disrespect, and you like to call her a whore and all that. I did not know of her for the first 46 years of my life. Why? Because obviously my dad, of course, had, I don't know how many one-night stands he had, but he fooled around with one woman, and they broke up, and she never did bother to tell him that he got her pregnant. And then, of course, here we're talking 4 decades later, she wants to find out who her dad is, and she gets a name, and reaches out to me, and we have a DNA test, and our DNA matches were positive for siblings. So that's the short version of it right there. But my dad passed away in 1984, so when she came into my life, I felt like I got something back that I had been missing for over 40 years or 30 years, I'll say. And Joe, that insulting that right there is not going to fly with me. I mean, my sister is what I've got left of my dad, something I got back. And you're going to desecrate that, going to piss on that. I'm going to remember that if you ever meet me face to face, and all anger is going to come out, and I'm going to fucking hurt you bad. I promise you won't go to jail. But you know what? You may stay a couple days in St. Luke's before going back to New York.
I'm just going to follow it up and say this. Joe, if you ever get the balls to come to Iowa, you tell me. You tell me. I'll meet you. I'll let you have the first swing with your hairy knuckles. I'll let you have the first crack. You better make it count. You better make it count. Because, Joe, I'm not a fighter. I don't believe in violent actions, but I will make an exception for you. I will. Oh my goodness, Joe, just stop. It's pathetic. You can recite all the public record you want. Honestly, I've seen every single one of your videos. They're laughable. You have stuff on me, you have dirt, cool. I guarantee you're only going to tell a fraction of it to make yourself feel good. And yes, I did send an email to Scotty because, and let me explain this to you, you dumbass. When you're on a video and you mention the radio station you are affiliated with, you do not work for them. Scotty said in an email he sent to me that I showed Billy. He made it quite clear. You are not viewed as an employee. You are looked at as an affiliate. You are not an employee. But when you say Radio X and Dare Radio Group and the boss and Scotty that has effectively neutered you, Joe. He has. Seriously. He's neutered your ass, Joe. That's the other great thing about what Billy, Matt, and I do. We don't have to be neutered. We can host our own show. You needed someone to neuter you to make you broadcastable. And so, yes, when you say their company name, you are tying your actions to that company. That is a legal precedent, Joe. That is on the law books. So, yes, because I was considering legal action, and I still am, believe me. So just keep talking. Any legal action could be tied to them because you have mentioned them in your videos. It's not that we're threatening them. It's because that if those videos were ever brought up to discovery, the judge would say, who's this Dare Radio Group and Radio X?
That's what I'm talking about. If that he's going to make a Dare Media Group a liability, of course, Scotty's not listening, and I mean he's speaking professionally, and I can respect that. But Joe is going to be a liability to that station. Not to mention too, that he still alludes to anti-Semitism and all that. And where I am a big proponent of the freedom of speech, and I don't think certain rules need to be made just because you don't like somebody. Freedom of speech is dead in Australia, especially after Bondi Beach. Because they're really cracking down on anti-Semitism. So yeah, nothing's going to happen to you, Joe, if you say anything except for you getting kicked off the station, not fired, because Scotty will have two choices when Australian law cracks down on him for the shit you say. They'll have to either remove you or shut the station down. And when it comes to that, I'm very sure he's not going to sacrifice his station over a little idiot in New York.
Right. And the thing is, and I'm going to say this, Scott, I don't know you personally. I've had limited interaction with you. When my personal belief is when you house a man that has racist and bigoted views, like Crazy Joe does, like we've submitted the evidence to you to show you that he is, and you continue to have him on there as a part of your broadcasts, and you are enabling his views. That makes you no better than his heinous views because you're enabling them. If all you have to do is listen to the videos, and Joe feels totally enabled to say whatever the hell he wants because Scotty is putting his show on his airwaves.
Not to mention, he's already expressed racism towards Asian people on Radio X. So he's already crossed that line. So
he has. And so I'm going to say I don't respect Scott. Even if Scott were to give me an opportunity to be on Radio X or Dare Radio Group, I would say no. Because you're known by the people you have on your station. And when you have a racist bigot like Jose Martinez on your radio station, I can't respect that. And I don't respect it. He doesn't deserve to have a voice. He doesn't deserve to have a platform. And his views are evil and they're hurtful to society as a whole.
I mean, yeah, like I say, I don't think he needs a public platform to spew that kind of hate. I mean, as far as he can say what he wants on it on his own website, whatever. But yeah, I mean, putting him on a platform like Radio X, Scotty, that's only going to backfire on you.
Yeah, because Joe will screw up.
It's only a matter of time.
Yeah. Joe, you'll hang yourself. And then, Joe, who you going to blame? Who you going to blame, Joe? Because you have a tendency of doing that. Live 365 didn't work out. You blame Billy. But you're the one who said the stuff on the show. The stuff with you getting on WMNH radio didn't work out. You blame Matt. Because you didn't know how to send an audio file.
Well, Eric, I normally like to say that about liberals, but Joe fits into the category of these weak people that are so insecure. Like we have a lot to. I mean, you have your own opinions about Trump, and I can respect that. But that the liberals like to go after Trump for everything. They can't. They can't do this or whatever. They can't get a cup of hot coffee at McDonald's. They'll blame it on Trump or, something like that. Joe does the same thing. He doesn't blame. No, he's not in the category of the Trump haters, but it's like, it's always something else to blame when it's your own damn fault or something you could have handled.
And that's the thing is
no accountability.
None. It's all on him. Every failure he has had, he wants to blame the onions. Joe, if you had any idea of how this business works, when the onions were ridiculing you, you would have ran with it. They were giving you a platform, but no.
Okay.
You didn't see it.
He's too stupid to realize it. Like, the difference between Tom Selleck and Richard Gere. Richard Gere is accused of shoving a gerbil up his ass, and he just laughs it off. Tom Selleck is accused of homosexual activity. I've never had a dick up my ass. I'm Magnum PI. He got all mad.
Mm-hmm. And yeah, it's just ridiculous. It's stupid. At some point, you're going to have to look in the mirror, Joe, and say you're your own worst enemy. Like, and I think it comes after you fail on this. And so, yeah, you're going to do it naturally. There's no doubt. We don't have to do anything. You're going to end up doing it yourself.
And that's where the really funny part, that's where comedy is really going to begin. Because, Joe, your only redeeming quality is that you're funny. But the fucked up thing is you're not trying to be funny. You're funny because you're a fucking idiot.
Exactly.
Oh my.
That sums it up perfectly.
So that's why we laugh at you.
You know, even after his videos trashing me, I say the same damn thing. What a moron.
Oh my God.
I shared it. I shared his video to some of my friends, and one of my friends who's known me for over 15 years, Andrew, he goes, "What is he talking about?" And I said, "That thing in Mason City." And he goes, "From 10 years ago?" I'm like, yes.
Well, how about that video, that unspeakable video that I do have in the latest chapter in the Substack, where he's taking off his shirt and he's like, "You can come look at these nice nipples," you know, and in his own words, he said, "I did that to make Billy look gay." And people are like,
that's like that episode of South Park.
Yeah.
Where Cartman is like, "Butters blew me. Butters is gay."
No, he blew Butters.
Oh yeah, that's right. And everyone's just like, that makes you gay too,
motherfucker.
Dumbass.
So, Joe, what you basically did was you put a dick in your mouth trying to make somebody else look gay, but it didn't. You put a dick feeder in your mouth that makes you gay, stupid.
I gotta watch that episode of South Park again.
Joe, that video was the one that one of that backfired on you the worst. Why you did that is beyond me, but it shows how stupid you are, dude. You're a fucking moron. Oh my God.
He really, truly is. And that, like that's the thing. That's why I told all my buddies, I'm like, I don't take him seriously at all. I'm like, because anything he says, if there's a modicum of truth to it, I'll do what I did with you, Billy. I'll come on here and be like, yeah. And I'll full disclosure. And yes, in the email, I did say I was not arrested because legally it's been expunged.
Well, you know, we're going to have to end this soon. I've already said that. But
I'm sorry, Billy.
No, we've been at it now for almost an hour and 10 minutes, and that's another thing we're going to. Oh, they spent an hour and 10 minutes talking about you. They must love you. Actually, you're just too fucking fun to make fun of, and you know, I'm having a conversation.
There's just so much ammunition. It's like going to a gun range with an unlimited clip. Like,
that's too much fun.
Yeah, you're just like sitting here like pop, 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 pop. There's just so much. Like, yeah, I'm not scared of him. I would never be scared of him. I don't really, if anything, I'm just like, you're reciting public record, Joe. Okay, cool.
Oh, well, the next video he's going to post, once this posts after this, these two motherfuckers did an hour-long video on me. They like sucking my dick. He's going to say something like
Joe,
that.
If we really cared and we were really stalking you, we would be listening to your shit show tonight. I'm not. I'm pretty sure Billy isn't. I'll be watching the college football playoff game with, you ready for this? Ready for this, Joe? Actual friends. People that like hanging out with me.
Actually, well, part of my job, of course, I have to tune in to the show just because I answer the phone, and my boss may mention something that like he'll mention a special sale, and then they'll call me for that information. So that's why I have to listen to the shows every night. So giving a voice like my boss, though, sometimes he's got one of those low voices that sometimes puts you to sleep. Not that he's boring that way, but he's
right. My point is, we have better things to do.
Exactly.
Billy has to earn a living. I have friends that want to hang out with me, and so yeah, we don't care. Go recite the songs you're playing and everything like that. Do your crappy Australian accent and talk about your Massa Scotty. Don't let Massa Scotty get upset, JoJo.
Oh, Scott, I do have a question for you. How much money are you saving on toilet paper? Because
JoJo is up your ass.
And he's giving you a rectal cleaning.
Joe is like this dude's personal bidet.
Yeah. Oh, shit.
Oh, this is too fun.
Yeah, I just had to throw that out there.
That was good.
But also, I know one thing that just irritates you, Joe. Just remember that Matt works in radio and he gets paid for it. I may not get paid for Patriot Confederation. Actually, I kind of do because my sales with my affiliates have been doing really well. So yeah, that's a bonus right there. But my daytime job, oh boy, that's in the radio business. I'm not behind the mic, but that is in the radio business. I am officially in the radio business making money, and you're not.
I got nothing there. I actually spend money for my website, pilcherspoint.com. I do the show with Matt. At some point, classic film reviews will be returning. So I just do it because I love it and I have a passion for it. And if that makes me a loser, I'll be the biggest loser on God's green earth and be happy with it.
Well, I think I've said my piece. Of course,
I've said mine.
Not JoJo's going to tune in for the whole for the entire hour and 12 plus minutes that we've been going over. That's up to him. If he does, which I'm not going to be surprised if he does. This is going to be classic because Joe, I know you're going to kick, you're going to scream, you're going to probably shit your fucking pants.
And then he'll film it.
Hold on, I got to fart. All right. So once again, my website, thebeardedpatriots.com. Where can people find Pilcher's Point?
www.pilcherspoint.com. You can also find me on TikTok, X, and Instagram under Pilcher's Point, all one word, or Facebook, Erich Pilcher.
And then, of course, the link will be in the description as well. If you want to check out the Substack, which I have yet to put up another chapter, but there's another one coming. Of course, that's crazyjoespuppetmaster.substack.com. And one more thing, Joe, you fucking idiot. It may not have very many subscribers, but the subscribers aren't what really matters. It's the readers, and the readers are going up.
Again, that whole being able to translate subscribers and visitors and all of that thing, technical media viewing.
Yep. Anyway, I am Bad Billy.
And I'm Erich Pilcher.
And we are fucking out of here. Oh, Joe. There you go.